Well, I'd like to start our questions, Mr. Duquette, with your concepts around holy guardian angels. Uh, the way that I interpret them, holy guardian angels come to assist us on all great missions. Ours is Aylward, Crowley's was Awas, and Carl Jung's was Philemon. Let's start at the very beginning of chapter 24, and perhaps you can tell us how you interpret Crowley's quote around holy guardian angels, and tell us the story of your first encounter with the Goetia Robos. And how does he relate to you now?
Okay, well, it's kind of two different subjects. The Holy Guardian Angel is it's a universal mystical experience that everybody sooner or later is going to experience on their way back to Godhead. And it's you might be able to try to describe it as linking up or harmonizing with your own higher self or higher manifestation of yourself. Crowley at different times called it an objective experience and a subjective experience. But whatever it is, the Hindus more or less describe it as a full activation of the heart chakra, and it's a level of consciousness more than it is a visitation from some kind of outside spiritual force. It's a level of consciousness that you achieve, and for people that itemize different levels of consciousness and project it on things like the Kabbalistic tree of life. There's an actual location on the tree of life that sort of represents that level of consciousness, and that's right at number 6 on the Kabbalistic schema called the tree of life. And it's one of the major landmark experiences on your way back to complete illumination, and everybody has to go through it. It's just you can interpret a lot of things that supposedly the character that was speaking as Christ was saying, you need to go through me to see the Father. That's tantamount to saying you have to have the Holy Guardian Angel before you get enlightenment, and so that's an experience that everybody will eventually have, but in their own way. I don't think any two mystics or magicians' experience of the Holy Guardian Angel was triggered by the same things or manifested in exactly the same way. When it happens, it happens. The easiest way I can describe it is your ability to fall completely, helplessly, hopelessly, wondrously in love with deity, and allow yourself to receive that same current of love back. It's like you plug your finger into an incredible current of love, and you act as a conduit for it. It flows through you. It flows out of you. And once that circuitry is made, you are, in essence, a different person. You've been mutated. And from that point on, you go on to even higher levels of consciousness. But that's the Holy Guardian Angel experience, and it comes first. The Ouroboros evocation that you're talking. Are you still there? Can you hear me still?
I can hear you fine.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I can just talk forever. The Ouroboros experience was an experience in evocation, or the of spirit evocation that that I did as a very, very young and inexperienced, and I was very, very green behind the magical ears, and but I nevertheless went ahead and evoked this spirit because my life was in such a shambles that I needed something to turn my life around and get me going, and I was so desperate that I was willing to plumb the depths of my own subconscious hell to do it. And so I, against my teacher's advice and wishes, I proceeded to evoke spirit in the classic Solomonic magic way, where you protect yourself in a circle and you conjure a demon into a triangle, and if you're successful in doing that, you attempt to bamboozle it into thinking you have the spiritual authority to boss it around, and have it go do some heavy lifting for you. And as you'll read in the book, My Life with the Spirits, it was on one level a comedy of errors, and but on another level it was profoundly successful.
I've got a question for Lon. Is there a distinction between a demon, angel, and deity for you, Lon?
No. Only in it's a matter of semantics. A spiritual. I truly believe that it's all in your head. You just have no idea how big your head is, and at any given time, it depends on the kind of the direction of flow of what the hierarchy of your own natural forces and your own handle on your own capabilities to raise or lower your level of consciousness. What I would consider a demon or a spirit that you'd use for Goetic evocation or Solomonic magic is definitely lower on the frequency plane, okay? Because they really do the heavy lifting in the world. They really do deal with matter and energy. That's why they're considered dangerous, because just like heavy equipment is dangerous if there's nobody driving it. If the heavy equipment is just running around with no driver, it's very destructive. But if it does have a driver, it's you can build stuff with it. It's constructive, and that's the level of force that you're dealing with in Solomonic magic. Something high, and when I say high, I'm not casting any moral aspersions about high being any better than low, and that's why I say I don't differentiate, because there is no moral differentiation between this stuff. It's like energy that you work with. It's neither good nor evil, and it could be either one at any given time. It's not the magic that's evil. It's not the force that's evil. It's the magician. And So if you've got your poop together, most anything that you would master and control is, fair and good.